Let's talk about our 2024 Bass Tracker Pro. One of the features I really like about it is that the tongue pivots out of the way, and if it weren't for that, it would never fit in my garage. Here is the electrical plug. You're going to need this for your vehicle. It is a 2-inch ball that goes on here. And noteworthy, this isn't long enough. When you go to put the boat in the water, it does not reach out far enough, so I have bought a rope to attach to it so that I can push the boat far enough off the trailer or pull it back up on the trailer. I'll be making this longer eventually. It does come with a 45-pound thrust Minn Kota Edge trolling motor. It's, in my opinion, really not quite strong enough, but it's what it comes with, and I have not upgraded this yet. The foot pedal does not come attached. It is loose, and that's how I'm leaving it for now. The foot pedal power plugs in right up here. I don't have it plugged in because I obviously am not using it. You get 4 rope ties. There's one on both sides here and one on each side in the back of the boat. We added a fish locator here on the front. We added the GPS unit for the Humminbirds because just sitting here in our yard we did not have any GPS signal, and now we do. We have a Humminbird Solix on the front and at the driver end here, so we have one up here. They're linked together so they only use one transducer. We added a cup holder right here because it did not have one. And then features up here, you have a horn, you have the bilge pump, the aerator for the live well. If you're gonna do an anchor drop, you have that, and then you have navigation lights, miles per hour, fuel, and then your RPMs, steering wheel. You have a little bungee cord right here that holds your cell phone in place, and you have your typical shift here. You have tilt up, tilt down, forward, neutral, reverse, and then you have the strap for the emergency shut off. We got 2 seats here. There are also pedestal seats that go here and one back up front right here. I don't have those in because I was out fishing alone last time and didn't need them. Let's see, we got the 50 horse Mercury, and it comes with the brace down here for travel, so you would have to come off to the side here if you're alone, and you have the trim, and then you just rest it on there, strap it down. Here's where our transducer fell into place for the Humminbird. The cheap little GPS unit thing that it came with had the transducer right here. I just took it off, left the bracket on there so I didn't have to worry about leaking. Your plug goes here for the boat, and then this is where the bilge pump pumps out the water at. I keep the boat plug right there, and it does not seem to bounce out when I'm traveling, so that makes it easy. While we're right here, this is where you fill it up with fuel at. We'll just do this. I believe it's an 11-gallon tank if I remember right. And then something else that we added, we put in this plug right here, and then when you flip this open, there is a battery charger here, and I've got a lithium and then a regular battery here. The lithium does the trolling motor. This one is the start and the fish locators. And this specific charger does both lithium and regular batteries. Here's the gas tank, also stored back here, so there's not much for storage, and there's not much room for additional batteries. You could probably squeeze in larger batteries, but not much larger. Added a rod holder here. This specific storage compartment actually locks. The locks were installed backwards, so when I went to turn the key, this cheap little lock right here would actually turn here and here, so it wouldn't ever lock anything. But this is plenty big enough. We have some fish boxes in here. We switched over to this style just so we could fit them in our storage. I've got some other random crap. I've got a couple hats because I burn easy. This is a solar panel unit and another lithium battery, so I can keep things charged while I'm on the boat, and worst case scenario, if the battery dies, I can work on charging that with the solar panel just enough to get the boat motor running, because I ran into that the other day. We have an anchor here. It's a 20-pound anchor, which is more than enough. And the boat also came with a small, cheap paddle. It's just a little wooden paddle. I wouldn't even use it in a canoe, but it comes with a paddle because you have to have one. See, the seat here folds forward, and there's lots of shallow storage here, but it's a good spot to store lots of random stuff. So, good place for any electrical gear, some tools. I have hand wipes in case you're going to eat after you're handling fish, extra oil that's not opened, all kinds of things. Moving forward here, this storage also locks. This is the rod storage. I don't know, what do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got a few good sized rods in there. A couple of them are musky rods, so they're definitely on the larger side. And it seems to hold them. I have one that's 9 foot long, and it fits in there just fine. So that's handy. The lock, it's another one of these cheap locks. It was installed wrong also, and there wasn't enough lip for it to grab here, so I've had to rework that until we completely replace them with something that's actually a little more sturdy. Not sturdy, but, you know, something that locks a little better, a little safer to keep some of these expensive musky rods safe. Here is the live well, which we don't keep fish, so can't eat them, deadly allergic to them. We just like to catch and release, so this is also storage for us. It's really convenient, actually. If it were going to be used for a live well, you have this little deal that screws into there, and it will fill up to that level. And there's your aerator that pumps in fresh water, and the old water drains out. So, super handy. I actually tested it out. It works really well. It fills plenty fast enough. I also added these bungees for here and up here for strapping down the fishing poles. That way when we're driving somewhat fast across the water, they're not going to like fly up and fly off the boat. That'd be making me feel like an idiot right there if I had that happen. So trying to avoid that. There's more storage right here. If I can lift it open, it does not lock. And I don't have much in there. These are the pedestals for putting the very front and back seat on. There's the throwable PFD. I also have a whistle attached to it because you have to have both, not necessarily attached. But you can see it's probably another 1.5 feet of space right there, vertically. Plenty of space for more storage. Now I'm going to climb into the boat, and conveniently, there's a step. I've got to move this musky lure box. And there's more space here. It's going to be harder to see because it doesn't open, but I actually have 4 of your basic life vest. They're adult size in there. It got a fire extinguisher right here, and then I have flares shoved in the very back, and I also have a first aid kit shoved right there. So safety stuff is all in one spot, tucked out of the way. If you are looking to get a spare in advance, let's see here, we have ST18580R13, and it is a 5-bolt. So there's that. We have not gotten one yet, but there is a spot for it to go right there once we do get it. And there's Willow being adorable, like always. This works great, except it doesn't raise high enough to get the ball on the back of the vehicle. I have to lift the trailer a little bit to get onto the ball. So It's not terribly heavy. I'm like $130 when it comes to weight, and I can lift it, so anybody should be able to do that. But let's come back over here. I also added these boat buckles. So these are super handy. So all you have to do is just pull it up, hook it, give it a couple ratchets, and it's tight on there. And then when you're ready to release it, you just push down and it's released and you're good to go. So there's that. Man, I really think that about covers it. I've covered the storage and the majority of the features here. The gunnel track runs the whole length of both sides. The only thing that you're going to run into is it's cut off here, so you can't slide anything down this length. Cup holder here, but I feel like it's kind of in a worthless spot. So that's why we got this, and I have another one over there with Mountain Dew can in it. So yeah, super happy with it so far. We've only been out like 3 or 4 times, I think, with it, just because it's only April. But no complaints on my end yet.